Several persons arrested during early morning police raid. $30 million budgeted for the rehabilitation of the charity market TARMAC. Man seeks assistance for brain surgery. In the region, Cuba protests. President blames U.S. for demonstrations. And internationally, FA condemns racist abuse of England players after Euro 2020 final. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The mining town of Linden seems to be the area of interest this week for the government of Guyana, as several ministries visited the town for development purposes. The Ministry of Housing and Water, Central Housing and Planning Authority, took its Dream Realized housing drive to the mining town. The two-day event will see some 400 Lindeners receiving house lots in Amelia's ward. Some 144 individuals will also receive their transport and titles for their lands. Attending this event is the Minister of Housing and Water, Colin Crowell, and Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Susan Rodriguez. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa has signed the government's intention to resuscitate the Agricultural Research Station in Ibini, Region 10. Earlier this week, he visited the facility to get a first-hand look at the operations. He said a lot of work is required to ensure the station's operation fits into the government's plan for the sector. The minister noted that several infrastructural work will be done to enhance the station's capacity and output. Minister of Public Works, Juan Edgehill, today commissioned the new Washapan Road in Linden, Region 10. The road was rehabilitated to the tune of $52 million. Regional Chairman Darren Adams and Mayor of Linden, Wunika Arundel, were present at the ceremony. The minister also disclosed that more than $38 billion will be expended on the Linden to Mabura Road. The project will be funded by the Caribbean Development Bank, with monies expected to be released in the latter part of the year. Also, $150 million will be spent this year on the rehabilitation of the Linden-Susike Highway. Several other roads in the region will also be constructed this year, worth over $300 million. A law enforcement officer is in need of brain surgery and is asking the public and the government of Guyana for assistance. More from Mr. Sobers.
No one knows the pain but me. I love my country, that I dedicate myself and my career to my country in serving this country on my job. Only God knows this, and I wouldn't give up my country and will give up my career for anything.
35-year-old corporate Amit Bacchus is making a desperate plea for assistance for surgery to repair a ruptured brain aneurysm that could save his life. Bacchus, a long-standing member of the Guyana Police Force for the past 7 years, made a bold decision to ask the public and the government of Guyana for assistance. He sat down with Headline News and spoke about the details about his surgery.
I have to do a surgery which will cost me 5 to 6 million Guyana dollars, and I can't afford it. The reason why I can't afford it, because I have a family to maintain.
Bacchus explained that he was injured at work while saving several puppies.
As I was taking the puppy to put in the back seat of my father carrying a box, I was taking out my head and Mr. Kami slammed the car door into my head. The last thing I remember is waking up in Jarchong Public Hospital. And ever since I started traveling with this head problem, and like about a month after that incident, I started to get a seizure. After this, I went to Dr. Duki, and he told me to go and do an MRA. When I went and did the MRA in 2019, it shows that I had some blood vessel erupt in my head. And the cost of this surgery would be roughly $5 to $6 million. And as a serving member of Guyana Police Force, I think it's fair enough for me that the force actually helped me and the president of this country helped me. Because I'm not serving my country alone, but I'm serving the members of this country. So I'm seeking assistance from the government of this country and from the public of from the citizens of this country. Because I really need it.
If you would like to assist Bacchus with this life-saving surgery, you can contact him or his wife on telephone number 669-1954 or 692-1557, or donate to their Darara bank account at Sunita Prasad. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. A 44-year-old Lance Corporal died early this morning of unnatural cause. Dead is Albert Pereira, a police Lance Corporal of Berbice. According to the man's wife, around 5:30 a.m., she was awakened by Pereira, who was lying on the floor in the hall and having difficulty breathing. As a result, she went for a glass of water to give to him, and when she returned, she observed that he was motionless. The woman immediately contacted the New Amsterdam hospital for an ambulance, but was unsuccessful. She then contacted the police, who visited and observed the man was lying in the hall motionless. The body was checked for marks of violence, but none was seen. The man was pronounced dead at the scene by a doctor of the New Amsterdam hospital. Don't go away after the break. 6 persons arrested during early morning police raid, and a total of $30 million has been budgeted for the rehabilitation of the charity market TARMAC.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work? Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's suit store. Come see us on Waterloo Street, and our friendly staff will help you choose the perfect size, color, and fit. Complement that suit with a stunning shirt and tie, matching bow tie and suspenders, cufflinks, or even a pair of shiny dress shoes. You will love the way you look. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Tastes so good. It's gotta be made with Alabama Baker wheat flour. Produced from quality soft winter wheat and quality enzymes to give a superior product that's guaranteed to be luscious, delightful to taste, and stays fresher longer. Alabama Baker wheat flour is perfect for breads, roti, puri, pastries, chow mein, pastas, and many other delights. Imported and distributed by Alabama Trading. 6566 Robb Street, Borda, and 23 Lombard Street. Telephone 225-5800.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The search for the body of a man who jumped off the Demerara Harbor Bridge on Sunday morning came to an end around 6:30 this morning when a jogger discovered his partly decomposed body at the back of Pegasus on the Kingston foreshore. The body of the deceased was identified by the dead man's relative. The body was taken to the Likens Funeral Home and it's awaiting a post-mortem examination. As the Sobers tells you now that 6 persons were apprehended after a house in Sophia was raided by members of the Ghana Police Force.
Ranks of the Ghana Police Force went to a house in Pike Street, North Sophia, around 3 a.m. this morning and conducted a cordon and search. 6 persons were arrested, a 30-year-old male and his 22-year-old reputed wife, a 53-year-old male and his 28-year-old reputed wife, also a 28-year-old male, along with another unidentified male. During the operation, the officers noticed a black, bulky plastic bag thrown out of the house window. The bag was retrieved and found to contain many cannabis leaves, seeds, and stems. When questioned about the suspected cannabis, the suspects all denied knowledge or ownership. A further search was conducted in the immediate environs and outside of the yard. About 30 feet from the house, a black garbage plastic bag was seen between some bushes, which contained 8 parcels of leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis. There was also a white plastic bucket with a little rice bag containing 190 live .45 ammunition. The suspects were arrested and taken to the station along with the items. The cannabis found thrown out of the window was weighed. It amounted to 55 grams. The other cannabis found in the bushes amounted to 13.166 kilograms. All 6 persons remain in custody as further investigations continue. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Nigel Dharamlal, says $30 million has been set aside for the rehabilitation of the charity market TARMAC in Region 2. The project will be undertaken by the Local Government Ministry and the Ghana Defence Forces Engineering Corps. The minister said the initiative will create an enabling environment for businesses and address the region's garbage situation. Minister Dharamlal encouraged the NDC's officials and members of Anna Regina Town Council to pay attention to the progress of the work. Quote, I expect that the officials at the NDCs and the mayor and his team at the Town Council are taking these things very seriously and plan your development in a way that you will and you know people are going to be proud of the community. End of quote. Earlier this year, the minister addressed complaints by residents about frequent flooding due to the improper solid waste disposal by vendors. A decision was taken to invest more resources for sustainable waste management to alleviate flooding. The regional vice chairman, Mr. Humis Audit, said, quote, this tarmac was built specifically to bring all the vendors to vend. Instead, they continue to ply their trade along roadsides and river dams, which cause hindrance to traffic. The roadside vendors have caused the internal drainage of Charity to be blocked up due to garbage. End of quote. Once completed, the vendors will be relocated to the tarmac. This will allow the regional administration to ensure such incidents do not reoccur. A public awareness campaign will also be launched to educate residents on how to properly dispose of solid waste. Don't go away after the break. Cuba protests. President blames US for demonstrations and dozens dead as fire rips through Iraq COVID ward. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
For decades, milk has remained the same. Until now. Introducing the Great Dairy Full Cream Milk from Alabama Trading. Enriched with vitamins A to D and calcium to promote healthy teeth, strong bones, and vitality. Great Dairy Milk is delicious and fortified to encourage healthy cell growth within the body. No wonder it's the #1 brand of milk produced in Ireland. Now available nationwide in 400-gram packages at leading supermarkets and wholesale vendors. Distributed by Alabama Trading.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop Price Smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Police in Cuba has arrested dozens of protesters for taking part in the biggest demonstrations in decades. Cuba's President Miguel Diaz-Canel on Monday blamed outside forces and U.S. sanctions. Al Jazeera's Reed Lindsley reports.
Thousands took to the streets across Cuba on Sunday in the biggest protest the country has seen in decades. The chants centered on civil liberties and the political system, but the driving force behind the demonstrations was anger over a devastating economic crisis that has caused widespread shortages of food and medicine.
I have nothing to cook with. The power cut out more than 20 times yesterday.
Love. It's because we don't have fuel and we've had to cut the electricity.
Protesters blame the government for Cuba's economic crisis. A day after visiting the site of one of the protests, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel attributed the scarcities to the 60-year-old U.S. embargo.
All those issues that are present in our society now, such as dissatisfaction, what are their origins? What caused them? It's the blockade.
On Monday, the streets of Havana were calm. The Trump administration intensified the U.S. embargo, passing a barrage of sanctions that devastated the Cuban economy. COVID exacerbated the crisis. So far, President Joe Biden has maintained the sanctions despite a campaign promise to change U.S. policy towards Cuba. But Cuba's dire economic situation, and with it, the frustration and anger of its population, continues with no end in sight.
And internationally, at least 50 people have died and dozens injured after a fire raised a COVID-19 ward in the city in southern Iraqi. It is the second blaze to sweep through a coronavirus unit in 3 months and has angered many of the city's residents. Al Jazeera's Kati Lopez Hodayan reports.
Lifeless bodies cover the floor in this hospital ward in the Iraqi city of Nasiriyah. Most of the victims had COVID-19, but it was a fire that killed them. Relatives are now faced with the grim task of identifying their loved ones. Moments before, this was the scene. Emergency crews tackled the fire as it ripped through the building. Amid chaos, families desperately tried to find survivors.
What happened tonight at the Hussein Hospital is a catastrophe. It's a tragedy that's left me speechless. It's as though Iraq has to suffer anguish and calamities.
Desperation turned to anger. At least 2 police vehicles were torched by furious protesters. They say the government's mismanagement and neglect of medical facilities are to blame. It's the second time this year a large fire has killed coronavirus patients. At least 82 people died in a Baghdad hospital in April when an oxygen tank exploded and sparked a blaze. Some analysts say not much has changed since.
Politicians they know that they need to blame corruption, and they're going, rhetorically, they'll come out and say this is all bad, but their actions rarely go with their words. They will continue, and that's why, sadly, this is not the last time we're going to see Iraqis dying because of the decisions made by their political leaders.
The hospital ward opened 3 months ago to help curb a surge of coronavirus infections. But the fire raises questions about Iraq's fragile health system. And these families say they deserve answers and accountability. Katia Lopez-Olayan, Al Jazeera.
And finally, British police have launched an investigation into a torrent of racist abuse directed at 3 black players on England's national football team. The trio missed penalties against Italy during the Euro 2020 finals on Sunday. Al Jazeera's Nadim Baba reports.
In the aftermath of England's defeat at Wembley, the clean-up. Some had predicted the tabloid press, often accused of racial stereotypes, would be full of negative headlines. In fact, most carried the same image, one of England's prominent black players, 19-year-old Bukayo Saka, being comforted by the England manager Gareth Southgate after missing his penalty. But there was vile abuse all the same. This mural of substitute Marcus Rashford in his native Manchester was defaced with racist graffiti. And much of the hate speech was online. Twitter said it had taken down 1,000 posts and permanently suspended many accounts. Other firms said they were doing all they could, while Southgate himself condemned the racial abuse as unforgivable, insisting it was not representative of most England fans.
Those boys have done a brilliant job, and we heal together as a team now, and we're there for them. And I know that 99% of the public will be as well, because they will appreciate how well they've played. Bukayo in particular has been an absolute star in this tournament.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his Home Secretary Priti Patel have also condemned the abuse.
To those who have been directing racist abuse at some of the players, I say shame on you, and I hope you will crawl back under the rock from which you emerged. Come on, England.
But anti-discrimination campaigners inside and outside the football world have accused them of hypocrisy. Patel had criticised England players for taking the knee, an anti-racism gesture, and Johnson had defended fans who booed the team for doing so.
People remember that it's all debatable, that you don't have to take the knee because the Prime Minister and the government don't agree with it, and so therefore, somehow in their minds that also gives them some kind of freedom to be abusive when it comes to black players in particular.
Well, the clean-up at fan zones like this is coming to an end, but now there are growing calls on social media companies, on politicians and on the sport of football to clean up their own act, to crack down harder on racism. The Marcus Rashford mural has now been covered with messages of support, but kicking racism out of football and off social media is a much bigger challenge. Nadim Baba, Al Jazeera, London.
That is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, stay safe and take care.